Hi, I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. So I decided to do a follow-up on my first video that I did for the community, for YouTube. Will the TikTok community referral hospital be a reality? That is the one that I as I mentioned in the first video, I said that that was a very good goal that they had. They had the heart, they had the desire, they had the fire, they had the passion of building a community referral, teaching, and research hospital that was meant to be affordable and free, and as well as a high quality health care for all people, especially the poor people, because people were tired by the government healthcare system, because people, they couldn't get the help that they need. They changed, the NHIF to SHA. SHA is not working. There are stories of people going for dialysis and going and finding that they cannot go through the process because the SHA is not working. They have to pay from their pockets and it is very expensive. People have died. There is a lot of negligence in the hospitals and many other problems that people have. So the Kenyan TikTok users, they came and they said they are going to build this hospital, and they proposed, to build an ultra-modern non-governmental hospital that will tackle the high costs and specialized care shortages in national health system. The services of cancer, heart disease, dialysis, those ones, they are so expensive because especially for cancer, one session, you pay around 86,000 or so Kenya shillings one, and then probably you have to go through 2 or 3 services. So you find that it is very, very expensive. So it was a good thing that the Gen Z came up with this project, and they proposed that the project will cost 1.5 billion to construct it, with additional 7 million for equipment, in all, becoming 2.2 billion per facility, and that's quite a lot of money. But I believe it is not it's not much, because people, they started, mobilizing themselves. I'll give $10, I'll give 10 shillings, I'll give 100, little here there. I know it can be done, because we are all the population of Kenya is over 50 million. Yeah, so if everybody gives a shilling, we'll get all this money. So, and I believe it is there. So today I wanted to follow up and see what is going on, because it was in October 2025. I wanted to see an update of what is going on, because they were proposing a land, and I went and I checked one of the content creators, comedian called Swings Mauno. On October 12th, I think he had a live on Instagram, and he was talking telling people that, there's someone who has proposed to give 30 acres for the hospital and in Malindi, and they were supposed to go. Whoever is interested, they need to go, they need to organize themselves and go and see that land. So from there on, I don't know what went on, but I know, like in September, the government was in a mode of panic when they heard that, the Gen Zs are going to build a referral hospital which is free and with high health care. So the politicians, the people in power, you know, they started, feeling so bad, and they were shaken, because the Gen Z, they are the ones who are voting. So I would love to know the update, anybody with an update of the progress of the Gen Z hospital. or the TikTok community referral teaching and research hospital that will that is supposed to provide free and affordable health care, and it will provide a lot of jobs, to provide a lot of spaces for students, to do research, people to do research. It is a good thing, and I would rather have, the Gen Z revisit this issue, because, they are taken up by other issues, the current issues that are coming, they trend with it. And I was wondering, what are some of the things that may have caused them, that fire to die, that fire they had. Because when they come together, the Gen Z, they can do anything. As the story of Kaluma, the one I did also in my video, they come together, they help a person, and they do great things. And so these are some of the things that I think may have happened. The initiative was ambitious, it had high energy, and it was good. But I believe the facility is costing 1.5 billion Kenya shillings per facility. It was deemed too high. It must have been very high. So probably that could be one of the reasons why the Gen Zs were discouraged, that that the feasibility of the financing the hospital wasn't possible, and the logistical and regulatory handles. Setting up an hospital requires, bypassing or passing through complex government regulations, including approvals from NEMA, the license, the Ministry of Health, and all these departments. They are infiltrated by people with power, corrupt people, people who politics also have gone in. Probably this is one of the things that made the Gen Z's hospital not happen, because there are people who will go and put handles for them not to cross, so that they may not achieve the grassroots initiative of the Gen Z. And I believe it was a very good thing if it can just be taken up once again. And another thing is probably sustainability challenges. Yeah, maintaining the hospital, that is the salaries, supplies, equipment, maintenance, without government assistance, at least all high fees that may come, it may be a challenge. But I believe if the Gen Z could get sponsors, they could sponsor people, they could pay people, people can volunteer, because some may say they are going to volunteer themselves, nurses, doctors, they are going to give their services for free there. I believe if they can source out funding, that could also be a way that they can be able to implement this. But the biggest issue, it is the government. It's the government putting roadblocks for them, for the Gen Z, not to cross, not to achieve this, because it will paint the government in a bad way, the Ministry of Health in a bad way. So they say, I believe everybody had different ideas, and to bring them together, was a challenge. But I believe they were trying to come up with a board of governors and people who will be in charge of fundraising and that. So it is said that in 2027 the hospital may happen, but I don't know. So if anyone has an update on this TikTok hospital, referral and teaching hospital and research hospital, I would like to know what's going on. And I believe that it can happen, so people can volunteer just to send equipments for cancer, equipments for dialysis, for heart disease, medication, beds, everything. People all over the world can donate. Even in our country, there are people God has blessed them. So it is something that is doable. And I wish that the organizers will rise again, will bring this hospital back to life again for all of us. So God bless you. Love you people. I hope the hospital comes up so that people can be helped. Bye bye.